On this teamwork, how to run engaging and interactive webinars, and of course, how not to. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome to Teamwork. I'm Dan Thomas, and in this series I help businesses grow, collaborate and create communities that thrive. In today's show we're talking all about how to run webinars that create engaging and interactive experiences. If you can create amazing experiences for people, they're much more likely to go on and implement the new things that you've trained them in. Let's have a look at some real clunker examples. Moving on to slide 32, and you can see the latest thing that we're working on is okay, so if I just click here and oh no, wait, that wasn't supposed to do that. Hold on, let me go back. Here are some tips and tricks that you can use to make your webinars that much more engaging. Be respectful of their time. Show up 15 minutes early, and when people start arriving, be ready to go. Here's a classic example of someone who has turned up far too late. Thanks for joining GoToMeeting. Your host will be attending in just a few minutes. In the meantime, if you have an audio question... Oh, hey, sorry I'm late. Just coming out of another meeting, everybody. So where are we? Know exactly how your conferencing software works. There's no excuse for not understanding how it works beforehand. Yeah, Mandy, so how do I throw you the ball? Okay, yeah, so I take the ball. Personally, I prefer just sharing my screen rather than sharing a specific application. If you share just an application, it's going to catch you out when you switch over to something else. And make sure you've got everything closed down that's non-essential. You don't want them popping up in the middle of your session, interrupting your flow and distracting your audience. Make sure you have good audio. Put yourself in a quiet room. Use a decent mic. Or if you're going to be using your phone, make sure you use an inline mic to cut out distractions. You'll also need your chat window so you can answer questions as they come in. Put it at the bottom of the screen so you can see whenever someone has a question. The pre-webinar stage is one of the most important parts because it allows you to spark up conversations with your attendees. If you're sharing your webcam and actively interacting with your attendees, it's going to feel live and really value adding. Get them to do some fun actions. Hey everybody, if you've just joined, go to the chat window and let me know where you're calling from. If you only have a few people, then ask those people to go on mute. But if you have a lot of people, sometimes you are going to need to mute their lines. If it's a training webinar, keep it interactive by actually setting tasks for people to do. Okay everyone, I want you to switch over to your screens and hit the start button. Ask them to come back to you and let them know they've done it. Jump back over to the webinar and put a done it in the chat window. You'll see loads of people coming through the chat saying done it, yes, done it. It will give you important feedback to know that people are completing the actions that you're setting them, and it will inspire any people that aren't doing those actions to take those actions themselves. As you're going through the webinar, pose people questions and have people acknowledge them in the chat. If that sounds familiar, put a yes in the chat window. You'll see loads of people coming back in the chat saying, "Oh, wish I'd known that years ago. Absolutely delicious piece of knowledge. Great advice. Well noted." Do the same for questions. Pick questions out as and when they come in, repeat the question and use the person's name to acknowledge that they've submitted a question. Bill asks, "Can we still use this on mobile?" Bill, the answer is yes. Let me show you how you do it. With this system, you'll create a continued flood of conversation with really engaged people. At the end, it's good to have a Q&A if you have some time left over. At this point, you've been asking questions throughout, so don't worry if the Q&A has to be a little bit shorter to make sure you finish on time. What does work well is offering to stay on afterwards to allow any further people to ask their questions. As you're coming to time, remind people about how they can continue the conversation after the webinar. Perhaps you're wanting them to visit a website. You may want to direct them to further learning or ask them to submit a testimonial. But make sure you include that close in a timely fashion so that you don't overrun. So to summarize then, to create an interactive webinar, you have to interact, acknowledge your attendees, ask them to give feedback, generate conversation, and answer their questions. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed this, then please hit that subscribe button for more. And if you want to get more notifications from me, hit that bell icon over there too. If you haven't shared this video yet, make sure you pass on the knowledge. If you know someone else who's delivering webinars, send them this video and give them a helping hand. And I really want to hear what your comments are. Go down and leave a comment in the comments section below. Let me know what your key tips are and how you are delivering amazing experiences too. That's all from another episode of Teamwork. See you again next time. Bye-bye. Yes. And so if you head over to just slide 2. Sorry, one moment.
Excellent piece of advice. I can't believe I've been doing wrong for years.
Such a divine piece of knowledge. Thank you for sharing.
Right. Excellent advice, chap. Wish I known that 2 years ago.